got so unsafe with my ex-abuser, I had to leave. And in that transition, so I was unable to get another place that would be safe for me. And so I ended up living in my truck. It was very difficult, and I was in constant survival mode because if I stayed in one place for more than one day, I would be found. So I would go to another location. I would have to observe for at least an hour or two the cars that went by to make sure nothing went by too often, or that it wasn't my ex-husband or someone that he knew, to where I could finally go to sleep. The last day that I lived in my truck, that night someone tried to break into it while I was sleeping. It really shook me, and I got taken into Raphael House. What I found quickly was that it is one of the most beautiful places I've ever stayed in. I got my own room, so all of a sudden I went from the truck with broken windows and this unsafe, constant feeling to a room that had a lock on it and access to food and a beautiful kitchen and all of these wonderful ladies that were in a safe place. That being said, I was completely overwhelmed. I felt almost like a wild animal, that I had got so used to the way I was living that going back into something basic that any human should have access to, that was overwhelming. For the first, I'd say 2 weeks, it was really uncomfortable. But during that 2 weeks, somewhere in there, I looked outside the window and I realized there were sensors on the window, and I realized for the first time I was safe. That's when I realized, like, how much in survival mode I had been for so long. And it was, before the truck too. I hadn't been safe from my abuser for years. And for the first time, I was safe. And that was the turning point for me and my journey. I was able to relax a little and know, like, when I left to go to treatment or to a meeting or to do all these, things I needed to do for myself to get healthy, I couldn't wait to get back here to Raphael House because I knew I was safe. And from that point forward, my recovery has just took off. The housing program and Raphael House have been there for me. My apartment is amazing. It became my safe haven, and I am going back to school. It's been a long road, and it will continue to be because it was a long road getting here. Raphael House has allowed me the basic necessities and the safety, and has allowed me to grow and change and have a life I've never experienced before.